What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Open Table Sports Daily Recap. Thank you for listening. We got a lot of followers today, Dom. We're almost at 300, so if you see us on Twitter, just give us a follow to get us over that 300 threshold. Today, it's me and Dom yet again. It's usually the two of us. We'd like to throw some thank yous out there. University of Bridgeport, Fightful.com, Jeep Guys Online, SeatGiant.com, Boost Oxygen, and Mario Chaos and the Kid podcast. We finished up episode 17 last night. We had a special guest, Mark Adam Haggerty, who is actually going to the WWE in a couple weeks. If you hear a ding, it's from my laptop. I'm getting texts. A lot of crazy stuff is happening with NFL free agency, so I'm getting a lot of texts from different people all over the place. And I know we were texting about it today, everything going on in the NFL. We're going to get into that a little bit later because I don't want to force feed it right in the beginning. But I'll just take your initial thoughts of today overall.
Well, definitely interesting. Everything becoming official today. Obviously, everyone was getting blown up. Yesterday was like a big day. A lot of the big stuff happened. Hopefully everything's going official. Hopefully everyone passes their physicals. Everything is official. You get some fan members that don't get their players their promise.
Yeah. So we're going to get into the NBA a little bit. There's obviously, if we've said in days past, NBA is stale, NHL is stale. MLB, it should be a little bit more active right before the season, but no one's getting signed. Kimbrel's still out there, I'm surprised, and Keuchel. The Braves, they said that they're out on them. I don't believe that. I still think Kimbrel and Keuchel both go to the Phillies.
I can see Keuchel. Keuchel, I expect to be signed before the season starts. Kimbrel might hold out. But
yeah, we heard some rumors about him holding out this year, possibly waiting for a deal. If I'm him, fuck it. I would just tell a team, I'll sign a 1-year contract with you just to hold me over until next season.
Why not?
Yeah, just give me 1 year. You don't have to commit to me after. Because what did he say he was asking for? He was asking for like 5 years, $100 million. So let me see what that translates to.
Yeah, if someone gives him like 1 year, $20 million.
I don't think they'll give him $20 million for just one, because they like to structure it differently.
Maybe
like between the guaranteed, the per year incentives. So I think they're gonna give. I don't know. It's so weird with Kimbrel because he's like one of the best closers of all time.
Yeah. It would be bad if he holds out a year because he'll lose.
I think it'll be awful. He's gonna lose. It's gonna be like Bell. We'll get into that later. We'll get into that later. So, because I know we're gonna start going off the rails on that stuff. So I'm gonna try to hold back. So Thunder point guard Russell Westbrook was fined $25,000 for his altercation with a fan in Utah on Monday night. I know we were talking about this in the Open Table Sports group chat of how we don't like this because it's stupid because the fan made the first, punch, I guess you could say, at Westbrook. He was saying some bad things about his family, his kids, his wife, whatever it may be. But, I mean, I'm kind of on Russell Westbrook's side. I don't know about you completely, but whose side are you on here?
I can see it from both sides. Obviously, the fan, they interviewed him afterwards, and he was saying, I didn't say anything that bad. And he was still reacting. But obviously, the fan didn't say that.
Yeah.
He's not going to admit that he said what he said.
He said they were just playing around and laughing.
But, I mean, it's a common thing in Utah, apparently, with Russell Westbrook, he said before. I mean, Russell Westbrook kind of overdid it, I'd say.
Yeah, the main reason for the fine was his swearing. Yeah.
I think he could have, approached him or, called him out like saying what he said. But, I mean, I think in the moment.
Yeah. I'm just on Westbrook's side. I don't think he deserved any of this. He didn't really do anything to the fan. The fans in Utah, kind of racist, I've heard from a couple of people that they're kind of against these type of players, but I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know what specifically was said. I just knew like the outside realm of what they were talking about was about Russell Westbrook's family, his kids. The funny thing is the fans always get personal. They never talk about his play.
Yeah. I've always I'm hearing over some reactions out of this. They should do something to protect the players more. But that's the cool thing about the NBA is how close you can get to the players, like during the game. Obviously, maybe you get security, take care of the heckler and fan or whatever. But I mean, there's no reason to change what they already have.
And I also heard that security was handing out warning cards after this to fans.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
What is this, preschool? What are warning cards going to do? If I get a warning card, say I go to a Knicks game at Madison Square Garden, they hand me a warning card for yelling at some clown on the team. I don't even know who's on the team anymore. I'm not following NBA this year. I don't know how many times I've said that on the podcast.
Yeah.
But I'm not watching NBA this year. I'm following the team, though. Say I said something to Enes Kanter when he was on the team because he sometimes gets a little bit crazy. If I get a warning card, what the hell am I going to do? I got a warning card. What is this, soccer?
Yeah.
It's just so stupid. But I think they should just ban the fan, which is what they did. But I think they should be doing that more often. Fans that cause problems, they're paying to get into your building. But if they're going to cause problems when they pay to get in there, no.
Yeah,
I get they can do what they want because they're a spectator, but when it crosses the boundaries of personalization into the player's life, that's off limits. If you talk about a player's play, which is what they're there to do, that I'm fine with. If you're saying, "Oh, you suck," your dribbling is awful, you can't shoot a free throw, you can't penetrate the lane, that I'm fine with because that's what he's supposed to do is play. He's not supposed to be scrutinized for his personal life under his family construction. But he can be scrutinized for his personal life when it comes to like drugs or alcohol or being arrested because that involves the sport, obviously, because we've seen players in every single sport where their outside life
it affects their game.
It affects their game. Yeah, but if something's going on in your family, sometimes it does affect. If one of you're saying stuff about their family, that's just a no-no.
Yeah, no, it's unacceptable.
Yeah. So, Rockets GM Daryl Morey agreed to a 5-year extension with the team. He's actually been building that team really well.
Yeah, I think the Rockets they could be contenders this year, depending on if they can get everyone gelled together for the playoffs. I think they're one team that could threaten the Warriors.
Yeah,
in the West.
I mean, I said the teams that could are Nuggets and Thunder, but I don't see I see them that could take them to the limit, but I don't think the Rockets could beat them. That's just my opinion.
They need a couple more supporting hands for Harden and Chris Paul, and
they got Paul, Harden, and Capella. I think that's a good 1, 2, and 5. I think PJ Tucker's good at the 3. I feel like they're lacking a 4 and a 6-man.
Yeah,
they need a better bench. I think. The amount of times I've said this, I wish LeBron went to the Rockets.
Yeah, that would have changed everything. Instead of going to the Lakers where they had nobody.
They would have been the 1 seed. I bet people would have said that they would overtake the Warriors. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw like a Rockets and Celtics finals. But Celtics are awful this year.
Oh, yeah, no, they're playing.
But in terms of what they should be, they're awful.
Yeah, they're very underwhelming this year. And honestly, let's say do something here in the stretch. Tough run. I don't see the Celtics being a big threat in the East.
No, I think it's going to be between the Bucks and the Raptors. And the Sixers. I think the Sixers, but youth and just the butting of heads in that organization, I think. Oh, Chiefs also have visit scheduled with cornerback Jason Verrett. Whatever. We'll get into that later. We're going to get off the rails again. So, I don't know. I think the Bucks come out of the East. I think the Warriors, they come out of the West. Who cares? The Warriors are going to win. So, then I'm going to pass this one over to you now in our other category of today's podcast. Today, we have nothing with MLB, nothing with NHL. We just have NBA, our other category, and NFL. I'm going to pass over the middle section to you.
All right, so we'll start with some golf for this weekend. Dustin Johnson is the favorite to win the Players' Championship with 12-1 odds. Rory McIlroy second with 14-1, and then Tiger Woods is in the middle of the pack with 25-1 odds. So look out for Tiger and maybe pull off the upset, put a couple bucks on him. NASCAR Hall of Fame announced their 20 Hall of Fame nominees, including first-timer Tony Stewart. So he's going to be a lock to make it. And Novak Djokovic is out of Indian Wells with Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal are in the quarterfinals and are prepared to meet in the semifinals on Saturday.
So see, we even tweeted out earlier today, we're very unique. We cover every single sport. I mean, some of them, yeah, we don't cover in depth, but we do have that news out there that we tweet out. So, you know, we got a lot of followers today, so make sure you follow us. Open Table Sports for everything, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget. So next, we're going to get into – oh, yes, I can't wait. So tons of stuff going on today. We're going to start off what happened earlier in the day. Redskins released linebacker Zach Brown. I'm hoping the Chargers can go after him because we still need another linebacker and defensive tackle. I think we'll also need a safety. But I think my ideal rest of the season would be Ryan Schrader, which he got released by the Falcons earlier today. I think we should sign Ryan Schrader. I think we should sign Zach Brown. And I think we should sign Clinton Dix. I think those are 3 must-gets for the Chargers. And then with our 28th pick, I think we should get defensive tackle. If we don't end up signing those guys, I hope we get Ndamukong Suh. I think that'll be good. And then bring back some other defensive tackles that left us. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Well, wasn't there a report that the Chargers and Ndamukong Suh were close?
Yeah, they're close. He's talking to the Niners, the Chargers, Seahawks, Cardinals, Raiders, anyone on the West Coast he's really talking to because he wants to stay out that way. I think realistically it's either going to be the Niners or the Chargers. I think dark horses are going to be the Raiders or the Cardinals. I don't think the Seahawks are going to be in on him as much as people say. I think right now it's going to be one of those 4 teams: Cardinals, Raiders, Chargers, Niners.
Yeah, I think Niners would be a good fit, and the Chargers. I think those are the top 2 for fits. But the Raiders are going to be spending big.
Also, the Cardinals have been making some moves as well.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that. Texans are in talks with teams about defensive end Jadeveon Clowney. I've heard the Bills are big on him. And I also heard the Saints.
The Bills are one of those teams that could be going desperate. I'm telling you. That whole AFC East is going desperate other than the Patriots. They're trying everything they can to knock the Patriots off.
Hopefully. I'm getting bored of the Patriots. The Ravens signed safety Earl Thomas to a 4-year, $55 million contract. Now, there are some people who got signed. They got a little more than I thought they should, and some people got a lot less. You know, we got another signing. The Packers are re-signing tight end Mercedes Lewis to a 1-year deal. So I'm going to hand over the Earl Thomas thing to you right now as I tweet this out.
All right, so Earl Thomas, 4 years, $55 million. It's about 13 or 14 a year. It's right around Landon Collins' price. I like it, but I also don't like the older. But I think he's going to be a good fit with Tony Jefferson. So I think
they lost a lot on defense.
But those 2 safeties, I think, this is a top duo in the league for safety-wise. But I think the Ravens the Earl Thomas thing, the Cowboys fans are enraged.
They haven't done anything. Patriots haven't done anything. Saints have been very laid back.
Some of these teams seem content with what they have from last year.
And they shouldn't be, especially the Patriots. They still haven't re-signed Chris Hogan. Right now they only have Edelman, and Dorsett is also a free agent, I think, as well. So right now they only have Edelman.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do? And Edelman's not that good. Yeah, he's good, but he's not – you can't rely on him as your only receiver type of thing.
Yeah. Tom Brady's not a quarterback to target one guy.
Yeah. He needs
spread the ball around.
He needs multiple people.
But Earl Thomas, it'll make it interesting for that AFC North. I think when the Browns,
I think the Browns
Ravens face off.
Right now, I have the Browns at 11-5.
I think it all depends on what the Ravens do here in the draft. If they can pick up any more defensive help, it does hurt that Terrell Suggs is gone. They don't have that.
Mosley.
Terrell Suggs is a big loss because you lose that leadership. He's been there his whole career. He knew the system.
Yeah.
It's kind of I'm kind of afraid to say. I mean, I had someone tell me today it's kind of like Brian Urlacher with the Bears.
We got another meet. Oh, we got a signing and a meeting. Clinton Dix is meeting with the Bears, and the Bills have reached an agreement with Andre Roberts. All right. Let me tweet these out real quick.
But yeah, I had my friend tell me today that we could see the Ravens fall off on defense like the Bears did after Brian Urlacher retired. Even though Urlacher wasn't putting up those numbers towards the end of his career, he knew the system, he had leadership, and it just kind of went away. And the Bears defense kind of suffered for it. So I could see the Ravens potentially having that happen. Because who knows how Earl Thomas is going to adapt to the system. Because he's only played in Seattle his whole career. So we'll see what happens when he goes to Baltimore.
Seattle's been kind of reserved as well.
Yeah, they really have been really quiet. So, I don't know, some of these teams being content when it really couldn't be, everyone else around them getting better. Well, they stay the same. Cowboys are one of those teams.
Then the Ravens, they also signed running back Mark Ingram to a 3-year, $15 million deal. I know you had a little scoopski on them getting him.
Yeah, I had that yesterday around 9-10 in the morning. That was pretty. No, I wouldn't say obvious, but it made sense because the Ravens probably knew they weren't getting Bell. Ingram seemed to be like the next best running back that could fit their system. So him and Gus Edwards could be good in the backfield. Because Gus Edwards is good, but he's not good enough to be the number one back. And now Ingram will get the carries that he wants. Unlike he was getting in New Orleans, because they kind of lean towards Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, Mark Ingram with the Ravens and how he'll fit into their offense. So, and then the Cowboys, they signed fullback Jameez Alawali to a 3-year, $5 million contract.
Cowboys making moves.
With their $2 they have in cap space. Chargers signed quarterback Tyrod Taylor to a 2-year contract. Solid backup, Dom. Solid backup.
So what happened to Geno? Is Geno?
Geno's gone. He's a free agent. He's done. He's gone. Cardale Jones is gone. I love the Tyrod Taylor signing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's perfect. Guys texting me about Nick Bosa going to the Niners. Also, Metcalf might be going early. I heard. This is what he's telling me right now.
I've heard the Giants are big on Metcalf. They might get him to try to replace Odell Beckham.
I also heard don't be surprised if the Giants get another first-rounder via trade.
I don't know who they could trade, though, for first round.
Janoris Jenkins.
I mean, they could.
Tight end Jared Cook is scheduled to meet with the Saints tomorrow.
Yeah, he could fill in.
Jaguars signed offensive guard A.J. Cann to a 3-year, $15 million contract. Colts signed cornerback Pierre Desir to a 3-year contract. Seahawks signed kicker Jason Myers to a 4-year, $16 million contract. The Raiders signed wide receiver Tyrell Williams to a 4-year, $44 million contract. Browns signed linebacker Adarius Taylor to a 2-year contract. Some good depth at linebacker. And now here's a little scoopski potato I got. Jets, Colts, and Patriots have all talked to outside linebacker Justin Houston. Now, give me your thoughts on Justin Houston, his whole predicament with the Chiefs.
So Houston, top linebacker in the league. I think we've all been thinking, he's not coming back to the Chiefs. And, these three teams, honestly, that you mentioned are good fit for him. I mean, the Jets are going crazy this offseason. The Colts have been quiet for some reason with the amount of cap they have.
Yeah.
And the Patriots haven't done anything either. So,
yeah.
Honestly, I could see him going to either team. I don't know if it's your favorite. Or if he just comes back to the Chiefs, which I doubt. But the Chiefs kind of losing key players on the defensive side. So the Chiefs kind of running dry.
Another thing I got earlier today was the Patriots having interest in Jared Cook as well. As I tweeted earlier, we're going to have a lot of inside stuff on this podcast today. So if you guys don't want to listen, well, obviously, if you're not listening, you're not going to fucking hear me right now. But if, tell people to listen. You get the inside stuff you haven't heard, stuff you have heard, but you get our thoughts on it. You get a little bit in-depth stuff you haven't heard, just a little insight. So when you're having a conversation with someone, you hear what we say, and you're kind of like, I agree with that. Then there's some things you don't agree with, and then you want to, tell us about it, which is fine. So if you want to comment at us, if you want to add us or whatever, fine, add us, whatever. But I know someone argued because I said that the Raiders were close to a deal with someone, and they got mad at me because they didn't sign them.
Yeah.
What? Close to a deal is totally different.
Yeah, no, it's signed and close to are two different things. I mean,
that's like me texting you, "Oh, I'm close to your house." Doesn't mean I'm going to your house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm close to your house. If you're close to a deal with someone, it's not done. Doesn't mean it's done. You can be close to something, but not there.
Anything can happen in the NFL.
Also, if someone fades out of the sweepstakes, it does not mean they are fully out.
Yeah.
Unless you hear the words fully out, which I still don't believe when people say, oh, so-and-so is fully out. You're never fully out on people.
I mean, we'll get into it later with the Odell Beckham trade, but I got something to that point to say later.
Yeah, well, we'll be talking about that last. So just the whole thing of people arguing with, oh, well, you said it was close to done. Close to done. It wasn't done.
Mm-hmm.
So the Falcons released offensive tackle Ryan Schrader. As I said before, the Chargers might be picking him up. He's more of a right tackle. The Redskins signed Adrian Peterson to a 2-year contract. Good one for him. The Jaguars released quarterback Blake Bortles. Now I'm going to ask you the question, which everyone's going to be asking. Where do you think he goes?
Bortles, I can't even see him starting next year. He could be looking at a backup role, maybe with the Saints. I know they were looking at Ryan Tannehill. You can see him with the Dolphins if they don't get Teddy Bridgewater. It's really the only thing I can see right now. Maybe the Eagles bring him in as a backup. But other than that, I don't know any teams that really look like Bortles right now.
Yeah.
Maybe the Cardinals, if they trade.
That's what I said. I was texting with the guy that I know. He lives in Florida, and he actually works around the Jaguars. And I said I wouldn't be surprised if the Cardinals got him.
Mm-hmm.
Pick up. There's not really other teams. Maybe the Bengals, because Andy Dalton's coming off a couple injuries. They might want to back him up. Who knows? I mean, hey, maybe the Browns back up Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield.
Yeah,
you never know. Browns have money. They've had quarterback problems, so they might still be like, we should just give him some security. So I mean, I think it'd be kind of decent if they got him on like a $5 million contract to back up Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not that they need it. It's more of just a security blanket in case something does happen with Mayfield.
Yeah.
The Panthers, another team that could probably get Bortles is the Panthers. Panthers signed offensive tackle Darrell Williams to a 1-year contract. I knew the Giants had a lot of interest in him to be their right tackle, but who gives a shit anymore with the Giants, because we'll get into that later. The Bears signed offensive guard Ted Larson to a 1-year contract. Veteran defensive tackle Phil Taylor will retire from the NFL. Cowboys signed offensive tackle Cam Fleming to a 2-year contract. The Chiefs released safety Eric Berry. Now, me and you didn't talk about this that much, but What are your thoughts? I'll give my thoughts second because I've worked around Eric Berry a lot because I'm a Chargers fan. So I've studied him. I've learned a lot about him. I've watched a lot of his film, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to get your thoughts first, and then I'll do my part.
So Eric Berry, a few years ago, was a top safety in the league. But now, ever since, he's gotten those injuries, he barely has played the last year or two. It's just the Chiefs couldn't keep holding on to him, thinking or hoping he would get better. And now he's a free agent. I don't know if he's going to make the money like Collins or Thomas did.
I think he's going to get a little bit less. I think he's going to be around that 8 million, 10 million threshold per year. If he gets over 10 million, I think that's a big mistake between injuries, age, and just rust on him. I mean, I wouldn't do it. So Geno Smith had more appearances last year in the NFL than Eric Berry.
Yeah.
Let that settle in there, Dom. So I think he can go to the Browns. I think that's a team. Now, I'm going to give my thought on this with him and the Chargers. I think him to the Chargers is a possibility. I'm not saying they're a front runner. I'm saying they can be an X factor. Chargers need a safety. They're looking for another veteran to pair with Derwin James. I would not be shocked if they went after Eric Berry. Not that they get him, but at least make a run for him.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect team. He stays in the AFC West. He'll get to play because I bet he's mad at the Chiefs. There's no way he's, to the Chiefs because he's been there his whole career. Mm-hmm. And why would you release him after he just came back? And you just signed Tyrann Mathieu. Basically, the whole point of signing Tyrann Mathieu was to pair him with Eric Berry, and then you release him? That makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, say the Giants traded for Antonio Brown and then traded Odell. Well, the whole thing was to get AB and Odell on the same team.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Or like if the Browns traded away Jarvis Landry and then traded for OBJ. Well, the whole point is getting Landry and Odell together. Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of weird when you sign Mathieu and then release Berry. And they also traded D Ford, released Justin Houston. Steven Nelson signed with the Steelers. Who do they have left? They lost Mitch Morse as their starting center. They lost their starting, I think, left guard or left tackle. They lost another starter on their offensive line. Kareem Hunt is gone. I think the only receivers you have left is Tyreek Hill. Everyone else left. You have Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. You sign Carlos Hyde, he's average, 1 year, $3 million, good contract. I don't think he's going to be that good, but I think only $3 million for him is still pretty good.
Yeah.
The other running backs are just average. Mahomes is going to have to do a lot more work next year than he did last year.
Yeah.
So that's why I think Eric Berry could be a shot for the Chargers. But who knows? I'm just a clown that gets everything right.
Yeah.
But I love the Chargers when they signed Thomas Davis 2 years. We're only giving him, I think, $12 million. So we're giving them like 10. So 2 years, $10 million. Give that to me all day. Veteran presence, and he could still play.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll probably take it at the end of his career.
Because he already said he wanted to retire. So I don't think after this he'll sign another thing. I think it's gonna be cool. Well, he's probably gonna retire with the Panthers anyway. Sound like a one day thing with them. Mm-hmm. The Dolphins release guard Josh Sitton. He's expected to go back to Adam Gase with the Jets. Dolphins signed tight end Clive Walford to a 1-year contract. Buccaneers signed running back Peyton Barber to a 1-year contract. The Buccaneers also released defensive tackle Mitch Unrain. The Patriots have interest in tight end Jared Cook, which I was told earlier today. Chargers also signed defensive tackle Brandon Mebane to a 2-year contract. I like that, but we still need to grab another top-end defensive tackle. Cardinals signed kicker Cole Murphy. Seahawks signed linebacker Michael Kendricks to a 1-year, $4 million contract. Tight end Robert Gronkowski is leaning towards playing in 2019. 49ers signed running back Tevin Coleman to a 2-year, $10 million contract. I think that's interesting right there. I think that's a great pickup. I remember I said on the podcast last week, another reason why to listen to us, ladies and gentlemen. What did I say? Tevin Coleman might go to the Niners. I said Niners were a possibility. I said Niners and Bears are going to be the two secret teams to land him. I said the Niners would be great if they got Tevin Coleman or Jordan Howard.
Yeah, no, you got Coleman to help with Breda. That's a good duo back there.
And Jerick McKinnon.
And McKinnon, that's a nasty trio.
That's a nasty trio. And then you got Marquise Goodwin. And then Kittle.
Yeah. I think if they can get one more solid receiver.
I'm telling you. They should the second pick? There's no wide receiver that screams number 2.
Yeah.
The closest to number 2 is Metcalf, but there's no way.
Do you think the 49ers could trade back? You think they trade back? They trade back. Maybe they trade with the Giants for that back to the 17th pick and get Metcalf there.
If the Giants want to have a fire sale and they say they want to get rid of people, this is crazy. But on the Niners, I would say you give us Sterling Shepard. We'll give you whatever. Or they need a corner. So I would do Janoris Jenkins and Shepard for that 2 pick.
I don't know.
So then at two, you could pick Haskins, and at 6, you could pick a top offensive tackle. That could possibly put you back in contention. And then with that 17th pick, you pick Metcalf.
Maybe.
And then with the that 37th or 35th pick you guys have, you pick a top cornerback. You add youth, you add talent. That could put you back in contention for even next year. Not this upcoming season, but 2020.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad trade to do. Because if you guys want to get rid of big contracts.
Because Shepard's in his last year of his contract.
That's what I'm saying. Get rid of Shepard. Get rid of Jenkins in his contract since they want to get rid of all this money and start over. I don't mind that trade. Shepard and Janoris Jenkins straight up for that 2 pick.
Yeah.
I like it. Then the Giants get 2, 6, and 17. Also that 35.
The way the deal they just put through yesterday, I wouldn't put it past them.
I know they have the 37th pick, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Dolphins are telling, this is what I was told. Dolphins are telling Teddy Bridgewater he will start for them and lead the team. That is their selling point for him. So I've heard that they're basically saying, hey, we'll sign you. We'll give you more money than the Saints. You'll be our primary guy. You'll run the offense. You'll be the main guy in town. We'll do all this stuff. We'll get you help on the offense. They're telling him we got Devontae Parker back, Kenny Stills, Albert Wilson. We just got Walford, all this type of stuff. They got Mike Gesicki. So that's actually a pretty good offense. But
no, we got a comment.
On what?
From Dean Worley. Keep Teddy B away from New Orleans.
Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater, they're offering him around $7 million for a year to be a backup.
I think if he stays in New Orleans, maybe 2 more years, and then he'd probably get the starting position in New Orleans, or he can start now in Miami, which I think we should.
But
I
also heard the Saints don't know the timetable of Drew Brees.
Honestly, no one does.
Well, if you look at Eli, this is his last year. If any team re-signs him after this year, they're clowns. The only way I'd re-sign him is as a backup. There's no way I'm giving him top money to be a starter after this year. There's no way. The only way I do that is if you're a rebuilding team, you sign him to a 1 or 2 year deal for low money.
Yeah.
Because I'm not even going to get into it, Eli. But Teddy Bridgewater, the Dolphins, does make sense. They were going after Tyrod Taylor until the Chargers swooped in and got him. So, cornerback Ronald Darby is meeting with the Chiefs today. He is likely to sign. He's still young. He's 25. So he's still got a lot of upside to him. The only thing is injuries. He's missed 17 games in the past 2 years.
I know the Eagles wanted to Keep him.
He wanted to stay with them, and the Eagles want him, but the Chiefs are going to throw some money at him.
Well, they got to do something on that secondary.
Their whole defense is awful.
Yeah, they got to do something. So,
yeah. Cornerback Jason Verrett is meeting with the 49ers today. He is likely to sign as well. He's also meeting with the Chiefs, but he's meeting with the 49ers first. So
I could see him in the 49ers.
Yeah. Cornerback Brian Poole is meeting with the Jets today or tomorrow. It's tomorrow. He is likely to sign with them as well. I heard he's basically going to sign. I don't think there's really anything about it besides the physical. 49ers signed defensive back Jimmy Ward to a 1-year, $5 million contract. I think that's good for him. He's still a solid safety corner. You could put him at either or.
Yeah, that's some depth.
So now we're going to get into the cream of the crop. The 49ers signed – the Giants traded wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. and defensive end Olivier Vernon to the Browns for safety Jabril Peppers, guard Kevin Zeitler, 2019 first-round pick, which is the 17th, and a 2019 third-round pick, the 95th. So you guys own what right now? The 6th, 17th, 37th. You don't have – so you have what? I would say like 5 picks in the first 100?
Yeah. 6, I believe.
6? All right. That's still solid. So 6 is good. What they did before was they were going to do Olivier Vernon for Zeitler straight up, but then they added a swap of – I think it was 5th-round picks.
They're 4th-round picks. It's 3rd and 4th or something crazy.
No, it wasn't 3rd. It was in the late 150s. So I think
it was like 4th or 5th. 4th and 5th or something.
4th or 5th round, whatever it was. A late round. It was a 3rd-day pick. They were going to swap, but then they decided against that. I had that earlier today before everyone else did, but yet again, we don't get credit. And they took that out of the deal, and they actually put Olivier with OBJ and Zeitler with the other package, and they made it into one trade.
Yeah.
So it was easier for paperwork and easier for everything else. So they made it one trade. Now I'm going to give this over to you because I've said what I needed to say. I think it's a dumb trade. I think it's awful. I get they're trying to rebuild, but if they kept OBJ, like they should have just kept him. They should have just kept him. I think it was stupid. And they give up Olivier Vernon. Now their defense, they don't have Kerry Wynn. He's a free agent. They got no one at the edges. They're good at defensive tackle. They're fine with that. Linebacker, they only have Ogletree. Secondary, they lost Collins. They really only have Janoris Jenkins now. So you only have Ogletree and Jenkins on that defense. Your defensive tackle position is very young. I think they're all under 24. And then you look at the offensive line. The offensive line is – I'm not going to lie. The offensive line is probably going to be top 10 in the NFL next year. You look at quarterback, it's a mess with Eli. You look at running back, Saquon Barkley, top 5 in the league. You look at the receiving core, Evan Ingram can't stay healthy, and he's more of a wide receiver. Then you only have Shepard at wide receiver. So the team is awful right now. So I'm going to pass this one over to you after I just said what I needed to say, because I want to hear your thoughts on this, because you are a Giants fan. I am a Chargers fan. You got the floor, Dom.
So yesterday I'm sitting, and I get the notification. I think it was who was it? It was Mike
Garofalo.
Yeah, he came up with it, and he said this isn't a joke. And I was like, all right, let's just settle down, because the whole AB the Bills thing that was kind of pre-Jack, but I'm sitting here and everyone else was confirming it. I was like, oh. Let's wait until they announce maybe we got 2 first rounders or something. But no, we got a first rounder and a third rounder. And Jabril Peppers. And Jabril Peppers hasn't proved too much in 2 years in the NFL. So I mean, right now it looks pretty bad for the Giants. This year's gonna be pretty bad. But the last 2 years hasn't been.
They haven't treated you well.
And, the Giants are 31 and 49. They had Odell Beckham.
And I think since that boat picture they had, they're what, like 8 and 22 or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
There's some absurd, or 8 and 24. It's 8 and 24 because that's 32 games, 16 games each. They haven't made the playoffs. So, 8 and 24.
8 and 25 if you want to count the playoff loss. The Giants have 16 in dead cap with Beckham this year. But after that, I mean, they get rid of that nasty contract. And I heard next year they're going to have somewhere around $100 million cap. So next year, on a spending spree. And if they can get some young talent this year, like I think if they get either Rose or Haskins, people want to go back to the team because they'll want to play with Haskins and Barkley.
Yeah, I don't know. Because if they have the same front office, they're going to be worried about getting traded or anything like that. So if I'm a free agent, I'm honestly not going to go to the Giants.
It just depends on the draft, I think.
Not going to lie, if I was a free agent, I'd go to the Chargers, man. I know I'm a fan of them, but, like, dude, look at it's young. It's not – they don't have a lot of veterans. They have it like 25 to 30 million in cap space, depending on what they want to do with Travis Benjamin. Solid offensive line. Offense is stacked, and it's young at the same time. Defense is stacked, and it's young. It's a solid team to go to.
See something about Sean Payton to the Cowboys room?
Yeah, they were going to put his contract in like a trade type of thing. Because you can trade coaches. People don't know that, but you could trade coaches.
So back onto the backup thing, I think one of the biggest things I'm afraid of is the Giants running Barkley to the ground.
Oh, they're going to you know that what's that book called? 50,000 Leagues Under the Sea?
Yeah.
That's going to be Barkley next year. He's going to be 50,000 Leagues Under the Sea because they're going to run him straight into the fucking ground and straight through the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be down there. Or what's that other one called? Something with the submarine or something like that. That other book. I don't know what it is, but something about a submarine at the bottom of the ocean. I don't know. Yeah. He's going to be so ran into the ground. He's going to be tired.
If they fix this offensive line, I think he's going to put on some record numbers. Well, Dean here saying Jabril Peppers is a big gain for New York. He does help at safety. They did need a safety. So
then who else do you have in that secondary? You have Jenkins and Peppers.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to draft a corner. They're going to have to
draft a corner. You're going to have to draft a safety, a linebacker.
We'll get Sam Deal at corner.
You're going to have to get an offensive tackle. You're going to have to get another running back because Gallman's not cutting it at the 2 position. You're going to have to draft a wide receiver, a backup quarterback. You're going to need 1, 2. Well, I mean, you have enough draft picks, so
yeah,
it's not really much to complain about. So just in the top 100, you said you have what, 6 picks?
Yeah.
So that could cover quarterback, wide receiver, cornerback, safety, linebacker, and defensive line.
No, the Giants could be filled with rookies on the field this year. So, and honestly, I wouldn't count them out of the division just because of how poor that division could be this year. Remember back in the a few years ago, the NFC least. It's back again because the Eagles.
Redskins, I don't know. I think the Cowboys are still going to win it.
I don't know. The Cowboys haven't done anything, and I don't know.
They still have their very good offensive line, and they just added to it today.
They don't have any receivers. Amari Cooper,
Allen Hurns.
But Allen Hurns is iffy because you don't know how he's going to come out of that injury.
Even if he comes back average, but then they also have, what was that rookie's name? Michael Gallup.
Yeah.
That's a good 1, 2, 3 right there. You don't have to rely on Hurns. I think Hurns is going to come back fine. I think
you need better receivers for Dak Prescott.
I think that as much as people shit on Dak, I think he's a pretty good quarterback.
I think he's top 20.
I put him in the top 20. Some days he's top 15, but I think overall, he's a top 20. I don't think he's that bad as people put him at. I think he needs better receivers. I think if the Cowboys get Dez Bryant back, I think that'd be good. But cap space, they don't have a lot of cap space. I think their defense is very good. I think their offense is actually really good with Elliott, but we'll see what they do with the rest of their cap money.
Well, I think we got to look at the Brown side of this now. I mean, I think they got to steal. I mean, they stole this trade.
Oh, yeah.
And it's crazy how much they've jumped in odds of winning the Super Bowl now. They're the 5th highest team, 5th best team.
Chargers are second, I think.
But New England, L.A., Kansas City, and New Orleans ahead of them.
Kansas City, I don't know how. They're going to be awful. I don't see Patriots. I realistically see – let me go in here. I see Chargers. I see Bears. I see the Rams. I know people aren't going to see it, but I see it. Let's go in here. I think Browns are a real possibility. I think the Colts. I think the Chargers. Those are my three teams from the AFC who I think are going to make the Super Bowl. I think from the NFC, we're going to see Cowboys, Bears, Saints, or Rams. I wouldn't be shocked if the 49ers made a run for the Super Bowl as well.
Maybe the Vikings.
Vikings?
I think the Vikings are better than they played last year.
I don't know.
I think Cousins will be better this year.
That offensive line is a mess. Dalvin Cook can't stay healthy. They lost Latavius Murray. So now running back's going to be an even bigger problem. They're thinking about cutting Kyle Rudolph.
The one thing that scares me about the Bears, and I was talking to someone about it today, their schedule is brutal. They have a pretty hard schedule.
I think the Bears are good. I think their defense is fine. I think on offense, offensive line is good. Tight end is fine. Running back, they're set. I think they should keep Howard by now unless they can get a good return for him. But I think as of now, they should keep him unless they get a wowing offer. Don't trade him. Mm-hmm. I think they should keep Howard and Cohen. I think they complement each other perfectly. I think wide receiver, I think they're good. I think defensive line is stellar. Linebackers are great. Secondary, they lost a couple people, but they're going to re-sign and sign some free agents, maybe work on that in the draft. But I think this team is still good. I think the Bears – I don't know. I'm picking Chargers-Bears for the Super Bowl. I think Rivers finally gets it, depending on what the Chargers do for the rest of free agency. They need to pick up Schrader. They need to pick up Zach Brown. They need to pick up HaHa Clinton-Dix. Maybe Ndamukong Suh, but they need to start making moves tomorrow if they want to stay in that contention for the Super Bowl.
So back to the Browns. I think Jarvis Landry, the biggest thing he's going to have to adjust to is he's not the number one guy anymore. He's got to realize he's going to see less targets. And hopefully he doesn't turn into a Dez Bryant.
Dude, he's with Odell. There's no way he does that. And if he does, I think it'll be stupid. But Patrick Kane got an assist.
The Browns.
I forgot to mention the other day. I went undefeated in hockey. I'm in the playoffs right now. I think I said that the other day.
How are you doing in the first round of the playoffs?
I'm gonna win. I'm creaming this guy. But I made the playoffs for both of my NBA leagues as well. That's killing the nose. But yeah, Chargers need to finish out tomorrow really well. Thomas Davis is a good signing. Tyrod Taylor is a good signing. I think they need to start to address offensive tackle and safety. I think it should be in that order: offensive tackle and then safety. I also said to someone who works in the New York area for Jets and Giants, he's like a beat writer for them. I said I would be fine with the Chargers signing a wide receiver. And he said Cole Beasley.
Well,
can you imagine Keenan Allen, Mike Williams out wide, and then you have Cole Beasley in the slot for Phillip Rivers?
Going.
What?
He signed with the Bills.
Oh shit, that's right.
He's there 4 years, $29 million.
Damn it, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Cole Beasley.
Damn, now that breaks my heart. I forgot about that. Damn, the Bills signed so many people. John Brown, Cole Beasley. Who else did they sign? They got Tyler Kroft. They have Josh Allen, LaShawn McCoy, Frank Gore. That offensive line is all right. I wouldn't really trust it. Defensive line is shaky. But if they can trade for Jadeveon Clowney and then sign Ziggy Ansah.
Tell me, the Jets are going all out this year. They're sick of the Patriots. They're done with this.
Damn, I'm kind of mad about the Cole Beasley thing now.
I think Josh Allen has talent, just needs the supporting cast to succeed.
Yeah. So now we're going to get into some more stuff now with Le'Veon Bell. And the whole thing came out. He went to the Jets, 4 years, $52.5 million, $35 million guaranteed, could be worth up to over $80 million, et cetera, all that type of stuff, incentives if he decides to get traded somewhere else or whatever. I don't think and I've heard from a bunch of people he's not going to finish out that contract. But do you think he finishes out that contract with the Jets?
Depending on the Jets. How they do. They don't make the playoffs the first 2 years. He might not. But the Jets could be wild card contenders this year. I'm not saying they get a wild card because you have tough teams like teams out of the South. Either the Chiefs or Chargers could have one of those wild card spots. So the Jets are going to be better than they've been. But
I think they still have a lot to answer. I think defense are going to be pretty good. I think offense, they still have a lot. So people think they're fine. Yeah, they have Darnold at quarterback, Bell at running back. Wide receiver is still a mess to me. Robbie Anderson is good, and Keency Enumwa. That's your 1 and 2 for Darnold.
Yes.
That offensive line is still a mess. Go look at that. The offensive line they have, it's a mess. Tight end, you had the rookie last year. Chris Herndon, he's pretty good. I mean, he's not solid, but he's, average. I mean, he's not something to be like, oh, man, he's pretty good. I mean, he's like, yeah, he'll hold you over, but I don't think Herndon is anything that special.
Mm-hmm.
But they need a run-blocking tight end to put in with Bell.
Yeah.
I don't know. That team still needs a lot of work. I don't think they're going to be in contention for a wild card. I think the Bills could be in contention for a wild card more than the Jets.
I could see the Jets getting 7 or 8 wins.
I could see that.
8-8 seems about right for the Jets.
I think they're going to run Bell into the ground this year as well.
Well, I think Bell's an idiot.
He held out for less money.
He held out for 18 less million.
And he lost out on that 14 million as well.
Yeah. So, and if I was him, if I wanted to really stick it to the Steelers, I would want the Ravens. But the Ravens got Ingram now. The whole Bell situation is kind of stupid. I think he held out way too long. All for a special $52 million over 4 years. And he sat out a whole year. I don't even know how good he's going to be this year.
Yeah. Trying to see.
Bell's just he's good for them, but
I think the Bills will be good in a couple years. I don't think they're ready right now.
No, it's a mess. Jets fans are happy, but the Jets have also spent a lot of unnecessary money. So, I don't know. The Jets are going to be an interesting team to watch, to say the least.
Yeah. But I think Bell signing to the Jets was a good idea for now. I think not this year, but 2020. I think they'll be set. They're going to have a little, couple more pieces they've added to really build around and attract some more people to come to the team. Adding Bell was big. Just the offensive line he's going to be behind isn't going to be solid. We've only seen him behind that Steelers offensive line, and that offensive line was like top 10 every single year in the league, and they really helped them out. Like, look what they did. They had a couple like third or fourth stringers when James Conner was injured, and they were getting like 80, 90 yards a game. So I think he got a lot of help from that offensive line. I'm not taking anything away from Le'Veon Bell. I'm just saying he got a lot of help.
It's a lot like Zeke did when he started. DeMarco Murray when he was at the Cowboys. I think this is going to really test Le'Veon Bell and how good he really is.
Yeah, it's like when DeMarco Murray, when he left the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it'd be interesting. It's like Saquon, he had a terrible offensive line, and he did well. So that's why I believe in Saquon. Like Melvin Gordon, like 2-3 years ago, we had our offensive line wasn't that good, and he still did good. So I was like, I believed in him. So
like that's why I think Saquon's going to be really good this year. I just hope they don't run him too much so they turn him out. and
Yeah.
get him injured.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see what Le'Veon Bell does for the Jets.
New York could be looking high, in 2 or 3 years in football as a city.
March 13th now. We should be back tomorrow, I think, for the daily recap, right?
I don't know. I'll be out playing big football game here in town. I'll have it posted on Open Table Sports. We'll get some video from the field. Hopefully, Recap can get the win.
Yeah, put some highlights up on Open Table Sports. Put them in to see. Hopefully, we can get a daily recap in tomorrow because there will still be more signings tomorrow. There's been over 70 already, so that's insane. A lot of big trades have been happening. Antonio Brown, Odell Beckham Jr., D Ford, all this crazy stuff that's been going on. You got Clowney on the market, Earl Thomas moving teams. It's going to be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. Hopefully the Chargers make some more moves. Hopefully the Giants, don't trade anyone. But, you never know with them. They could end up trading Nate Solder and Janoris Jenkins away for picks or some shit. They're turning into John Green and the Raiders. But we'll see what happens. Friday, there's going to be no podcast. So that's it. Might be doing a daily recap later on Friday, but we're not going to be doing a full-on podcast like we usually do every Friday. We'll be back next Friday with a huge podcast. And I think, if I'm correct, next Saturday we have the MLB 2019 season preview. We're going to be having a huge panel full of guys. We're going to be running over every MLB team, front, back, bottom, left, horizontal, diagonal, everything, starting rotations, bullpen, lineup, managerial status, everything. We're going to be having all on deck for you. We're going to have our power rankings tied into that. We're going to be talking about our playoffs. We're going to have a full bracket put out for MLB playoffs, and the season hasn't even started yet, and we're going to be doing all that. Hopefully all the rest of the big MLB free agents sign so we could really, because if Kimbrel signs with the team, that's big. It's really going to up them in their World Series ranking, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
But March 23rd is going to be a big day. I think we're shooting for 4 or 5 hours for that podcast.
Yeah.
That's going to be an interesting one. We're going to be live on YouTube. We're going to be recording audio at the same time. So it's going to be a whole big thing. March 23rd. Make sure you tune in. It's going to be 1 p.m. live Eastern time on YouTube. Just do not miss it. If you want to go back and listen to it, it's fine. We're going to be, going all out for that podcast. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you for the follows, likes, retweets. Keep it up. We love the discussions. We love the activity. It helps us out because you give us your thoughts, and then you get your thoughts put out there. You get to talk to other fans. You get to argue with other fans. You get your point out there. People see your content, whatever it may be. And if you want to join the Open Table Sports team, just DM me, Degnan_Matt, or you could just DM Open Table Sports if you want to join our team. We're still looking for people for the Instagram and the Facebook and all that to be administrators, which means you're basically just running the account. You get to work with me and Dom. We have all the sources and all that type of stuff, so you don't have to worry about that. You get to learn a lot from me and Dom, who've been I've been in this for 2 years, so I've got some stuff under my belt, but it'll be interesting to see. But all right, guys, thank you for listening and have a good night.